Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples should be aware that this video contains images, voices and names of people who have passed away.
Jingawala Ngalinga Jagoon. Welcome to Ngangabal country. I'd like to pay respect to elders past and present and extend it to other elders who are still around today.
Gingiwalawidja, welcome to the land of the Gullybill people, clan group of the Bundjalung Nation. I'd like to pay my respects to the elders past, and there's none present, but in thought we are.
Gingela, Galinga Jargon, Galinga Bigle, Tuway by Jarjam, Ngadang Bavin, Guriaba, Giligat Guriaba, Gingela, Galinga. That's mean hello and welcome to the land of the Bundjalung Nation, where we as elders keep our strong cultural traditions, our wisdom, our understanding of and learning from our elders, and where we pass it on to our children and our family around this area. And that's Bundjalung. I said hello, welcome to the land of the Bundjalung people, where we lived many years ago and where our ancestors and kept the land very well, looked after it, nourished us, fed off of our land, our vitamins, our minerals, all that was provided by our Creator God, who gave us this privilege of being a custodian of this area.
Hi, my name is Janae Daly. I'm a Gumbungare woman. My dad is Bundjalung and my mum is Gumbungare, but I have my grandfather who is Scottish. So I have this mixture of culture that really comes across really well within my family. And part of doing a welcome to country to me is to show dignity and respect to everybody in the room. And we're very lucky in the Clarence Valley to have three nations. We've got Bundjalung, Gumbaynggirr, and then we have Yagle country. And they're very special places, and we're all given especially our women, we're given special places by our mums. So we know where to go when we need to have peace and quiet and solace and all that kind of thing. And I've been involved in Aboriginal affairs for many, many years, and I thoroughly enjoy it, and I love being around my elders and my family, which is the focus of my life. But when I do a welcome to country, I like to welcome all elders from all countries that are in the meeting, because we do have people of mixed heritage, and it's vital that I also recognise them and pay my respects to them, our elders, past and present, and also our emerging young people. I mean, today they've got so much technology that they can reach out to every part of the world, and they can see what's happening with COVID-19 and with what's happening currently in America.
G'day everyone, my name's Anna Jenny. I'm just paying my respects to our elders in past and present and our future generation. I just want to welcome everybody here today, the non-Aboriginal people and the Aboriginal people here at this meeting.
Thank you, Mum, for that beautiful welcome. Today we're here to celebrate the launch of the Reconciliation Action Plan with Momentum Collective. Momentum Collective is a not-for-profit organisation that works with people with disabilities, mental health, homelessness, social affordable housing, domestic violence and community services for the people. This is a great service which will work a lot with our Aboriginal community in particular, and we look forward to exploring the Reconciliation Action Plan when it becomes live in the communities. Thank you.
Thank you, and Yarrung.
Jingiri Walla. Good morning. I'd like to thank Gary. Gary's on the didgeridoo today, and Tammy for inviting me today to share this day today, with you today. This is Bundjalung country, Bundjalung Yagan. Yagan means country in our language. So it's an honour to welcome you to Bundjalung, and up the coast they call Yugambeh Yagan. We acknowledge all the tribal groups within this area, and they include the Minjinbul, which this place is called, and the road out the front of the highway is called the Minjinbul Drive. Other tribes include the Puninbar, the Nungdawal, the Kujinbara, and the Mullinjali and Kumbameri people up north. These people have travelled across this land since time began. We always and will continue to pay our respects to our elders, both past, present, and those kids that are coming forward today. So this is just a bit of a welcome in Bundjalung language. Bundjalung Yagan, Nalina Yagan, Nali Garama Mali Yangan, Wanma Jangma, Mali Gungu Gali Yangan, Nalina Mali Yangan, Nalina Junga Mali Yangan, which means Bundjalung country. We belong to this country, we don't harm this country here. We look after this country here. We belong to it, this country. For thousands of years, these groups that I've just spoke about have lived and derived their livelihood from the land, the rivers, the streams and the oceans of this beautiful area. It's called a valley, and it rests in the shadow of the majestic Wollumbin. Wollumbin is the mountain which is now called Mount Warning by some people. But Wollumbin means cloud catcher or turkey, or some say it means warrior chief. I like the warrior chief one. Legend has it that the spirits of the mountain were warriors, and the wounds they received were the battles on the scars of the mountainside, and the lightning, your thunder you witness are results of their battles. The foundations of these legends was the Dreamtime, and the Dreamtime is strongly influenced by our environment and is the foundation of Aboriginal people's beliefs. The sights and stories tell us how the landscape was given to us, and we recognise that the land was given to us to care for. These legends still remain today, and to the people of this beautiful valley, they demonstrate the importance and the significance of sacred sites. Sacred sites are everywhere in country. Not far from here there's a place where the kids swim, they call it Pelican. Gary know about that. Yugara in Bundjalung. Not far from there there's a place called Razorback, which is called Nyagaran Narain, which is a place where the pelicans meet. So this country, Bundjalung and Yugambeh, offer you an abundance of good things to enjoy. So Nalina Yagan, we belong to this country, and you by being here now become part of this country too. So enjoy your time in Bundjalung and Yugambeh country. Just a little further to add where I'm doing this welcome today, it's in a place called the Minjinbul Museum, and we all share a gift, and it's a special gift, and it's called the gift of remembering. When we do welcome to countries and pay our respects to our elders, we are remembering. And as I said, today we stand on a sacred site not far from here. To the left of me is a place that we call a Bora Ring. It's a place where initiation ceremonies and were held, initiation for young men coming into manhood. And it's a place where Aboriginal people would meet and greet, remembering. And this place is largely due to one woman, would you believe, one woman, Auntie Margaret Kay. Auntie Margaret looked after and maintained this Bora Ring long before anyone knew that too much about culture in this place, and before it was even recognised, she looked after it and kept it going. A few years back, the theme for NAIDOC Week was because of her we can. And because of her, Auntie Margaret, we have pathways we can follow. And one of our pathways is that gift that keeps on giving, and that is remembering. So Nalina Yagan, we belong to this country, and you by remembering too also belong to this country. So thank you again and welcome to Bundjalung Yarngun.
Jingawala, welcome. Welcome to Minjibul. This Minjibul's on Bundjalung Nation, and I'm a proud Minjibul man. I was born and bred here, and today we're meeting at the Minjibul Museum, Sacred Land. And to my right, you can't see it at the moment, but there's Yuggabah Island, which is a very, very sacred place for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people in this area. This morning we had a wonderful welcome by Uncle Victor, and I want to thank him very much. And I'd also like to thank all the elders that have given Welcome to Country and a short story of their life in the area they come from in the footprint of Momentum Collective. I work for Momentum Collective. I'm an Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander project officer, and I'm very proud to work for that company because Momentum Collective is very driven in Aboriginal affairs, what's going on in the communities, trying to make things better. And that's what the rap is all about, trying to make things better. So yeah, very happy to be here today on my land, on the land that I was born on. And thank you. Yoway.
Welcome. I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land where we meet today, the Minjibul people from Bundjalung Nation, and pay my respects to elders past, present and the emerging Djadjumps. We were honoured to commence the event with a Welcome to Country by Uncle Vic Slocky and Gary Kafara on the didgeridoo. I'd also like to thank all the other elders across the region that took part in the Welcome to Country. My name is Tammy Johnson and I work for Momentum Collective as the Aboriginal Engagement Specialist. Welcome. It is my privilege to introduce the next performance, Kids Caring for Country. Kids Caring for Country began in 2011 as a child's playgroup. Since then, it has grown into a weekly meeting place for all ages who are interested in connecting to culture. Ani Deidre Curry is the Kids Caring for Country Aboriginal Cultural Liaison Officer. Ani Deidre is a well-respected elder from Bundjalung Nation who teaches the children Bundjalung language and traditional dance.
Thank you for inviting us to your online rap launch, and we just acknowledge beautiful Minjibul Nundawal country and our ancestors and our elders, past and present, and the emerging. First song and dance we're going to do for you is Gari Nanami. We're going to welcome you to country, thank Malibabra Mamang, Father God Creator and Mother Earth for all the good things that we have, and welcome you into family. It's Gari Nanami. Garing in the nami, a jojo maperono. Garing in the nami, garing in the nami, a jojo maperono. Garing in the nami, a jojo maperono. Garing in the nami, a jojo maperono. Gaya mama rangai, Gaya mama rangai. Yagan gunganyono, Gaya mama rangai, Yagan gunganyono, Gaya mama rangai, Yagan gunganyono, Garing in the nami, Garing in the nami, a juju maperono, Garing in the nami, a juju maperono. Next song and dance is Angela Bargar, Mosquito Dance. Back in the day we didn't have sprays or tea tree or eucalyptus like we do now, so we'd take the leaves off the tea tree and the eucalyptus trees and we'd crush up the leaves, get the oil out, rub it on our bodies, take a branch off the tree, and when we're walking, yarning or hunting and gathering or just, heaps of mosquitoes around here, we just swish that leaves around us to keep the mandaras away, the mosquitoes away. Angela Bargar. Angela Bargar now, Wandi Walana. 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 Angela Bagana, Wanji Walana, Angela Bagana, Wanji Walana. This last dance we're going to do for you is Buddy Bunma, woman's hunting and gathering dance. About waking up in the morning, going out and hunting all the small animals and bush food, bush tucker, seeds, berries for your family. And then at night, go down to sleep, and then good spirits come out and dance over you for good dreams and good rest. Buddy Bunma. Bungle Bear, thank you. Hope you enjoyed our performance. Bellanda, Black Swan by the River.
Thank you, Kids Caring for Country Dance Group, for the beautiful performance. You are a very inspirational group of leaders and future leaders. I would like to acknowledge all the VIPs that have joined us today to celebrate this important milestone of momentum and to formally launch our Reconciliation Action Plan, known as a RAP. Australia has a long history of reconciliation, and countless people, both Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander and non-Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, have committed to the reconciliation movement. Our next special guests are the amazing Gary and Dan McCoy, who are both talented musicians and songwriters. Together, they will perform a song written about reconciliation called My Community.
Jingawala. My name's Gary Kafar and I'm a proud Minjabul man, as was my father and his father before. Today, myself and my good friend Dan McCoy, we're going to talk about a yarn, about an old man who has seen the news and what's going on in the world, and he thinks about his life and the deprivation and prejudice that he faced in his life. And he's thinking to himself, how can we make this better? We have to make it better. Before we tell the yarn, I'd like to acknowledge all Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander people on this great, great nation we live on. And the young Jarjums, the up-and-coming young ones, our leaders. The ones that maybe we can change things if we try hard. If we can change it so they don't have to walk down the same road of deprivation and prejudice. I also work for a company called Momentum Collective. Momentum Collective, this is their launch today of their rap. And I've been with this company for quite a while. And I, from the word go, I felt welcomed as an Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander man. And I am now the Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander project officer. And I've been with this company for quite a while. And this company, Momentum Collective, is driven. They're so passionate about trying to make things better, about trying to change the way it's been for so long and make a better road for our young ones. So it makes me very, very proud to work for this company. So my good mate Dan and myself, we're going to tell this yarn. It's called My Community. There's an old man, he's sitting, and he's thinking about the past, about his younger days and how life's gone so fast. He thinks of his youth, of deprivation and prejudice. For so many years has left his community in a mess. In my community. In our community. Well, he thinks of the youth and how different it is today. About the past and how they were pushed away. The broken promises. Children are still being taken away. Hurt and trauma now we carry with us every day. In our community. In our community. We have to walk together now. Brother, take my hand. Reconciliation we have to have. Strong leaders on sacred land. Think outside the box we're in. We need a better plan. Understanding culture, black or white. Reconciliation in this land. In our community. In our community. Consultation with elders. You know, they haven't seen that before. They never ask their opinion. They just close the door. Honesty and respect. You know that this must be shown. We must walk together and not walk alone. In our community. In our community. We have to walk together now. Brother, take my hand. Reconciliation we have to have. Strong leaders on sacred land. Step outside the box we're in. We need a better plan. Understanding culture, black or white. Reconciliation in this land. In our community. In our community. There's an old man sitting, thinking about his past.
Thank you, Gary and Dan, for the awesome performance. And what a powerful song. Please join us to watch the short film Our History, Our Story, Our Future. The film outlines the significance of all Australians working together to help repair the misgivings of a broken history and to move as one towards a brighter, united future.
In every nation's story, there are important moments, events and crossroads that shape the chapters to come. It is these moments that a nation has a chance to ask itself who we are and who we want to be. For all Australians, this ancient land connects the stories of our past, our present and our future. But the story we tell today has many gaps, chapters not connected, with parts of our history left off the records, silenced in classrooms, missing in papers. This untold, untaught story leaves parts of our nation holding the burden of trauma, while others live with a historical blind spot. Shielded from not only stories too hard to tell, but stories that need to be celebrated, of courage, innovation, and triumph. If we believe in fairness and justice for everyone, if we know that our diversity makes us richer, if we know we are stronger together, what lays ahead of us is a journey of truth. In writing this next chapter together, the common ground we have is that we are all here, woven into this country in this moment in time. So let's make history we can all be proud of. Reconciliation in Australia. Our history, our story, our future.
Reconciliation is not an outcome or a goal, it is an ongoing journey, and we all as Australians have a responsibility in this reconciliation journey. Reconciliation is about building strong relationships and understanding the ongoing struggle that generations of Australians have fought hard for and continue to fight for. We are now honoured to share some of the stories from the elders across the region.
My name is Lewis Cook, Lewis Trevor, and I'm 87 years of age. And I've been living on Cavity Island since I was born. I was, in different places, but yeah, Cavity Island, Aboriginal was self-sufficient there years ago. They had their own horses and cows and bee boxes and gardens and cane and bananas. They grew everything, had everything there. But when the white man come there, like the manager, he destroyed and brought a mob of cattle in. And he just destroyed them. If you go up there now, there's nothing there. Terrible. But yeah, I've been around for a while. Like years ago, we used to work as Aborigines work slave labour, like the backpackers. Same thing. And when we finish here, like cane cutting and working for the farmers, they'd come down in trucks from Queensland, all covered in trucks, and they'd pick us up here, Lismore, Coraki, Mully, Wooden Bung, everywhere, and take us up to Coombra. You know where Coombra is? They used to grow arrowroot there. And all the farmers used to be there. I couldn't get away from horses. I was still working horses when I got up there. And I was only 15. And it was good. Like, we enjoyed ourselves. It wasn't much money, but, we still survived. But we had, used to come to Tweed and dance at Tweed and that. It was all right.
Do you think there needs to be more Aboriginal specific teachers?
Yeah, teachers. Now I got a grandson here is going to be a teacher. He's becoming a teacher. He works at Ballina Primary, and he'll become a teacher next couple of weeks, I think. There could be more teachers and, you know. I could tell you a lot of stories, but, you know, we go all bloody day.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
But, you know, everything's like, you know, they got to get educated.
My name is Annie Gwen Hickling Williams. I was born here in the segregated ward of the Casino Hospital, 1949. In that ward, my mum said there could have been a dead white person in the same area there. We came and we lived down here on the riverbank. We lived in tin shacks on the riverbank near the waterfall. We had on my mum's side, her family came from Darabba, and they had to move because the white man said they needed the land for grazing and whatever, so they moved all the Aboriginal people. Some went to Stony Gully, some went to Tablum, like Uncle Mick Walker. His mother and father, they went up that way, and we went down here. And because grandfather Warren Kavanagh worked for Bobby Apsley, I think, he gave him the land at Box Ridge. He said, this is land for you. Bring your family, save you going back, right back to Darabba all the time. Bring them and live here. My dad had to look for work, so we went to Woodenbong, Mully Mission. We lived up there with Auntie Doris Skinner. Dad got a job in Beehive Mountain near Irvinville, so we stayed out in the bush. That work, you did ring barking and whatever. Then we went back to Box Ridge, and 1964 Dad said, we all got to go to Sydney to work. But in that meantime, before that, I did peas picking down at Maclean, Chatswood Island. I went to Kangi with my auntie and Ben Longman to pick potatoes. This is before I was 15 years of age. I was only 12 or 13. And when we went to Sydney now, I went straight out and I got a job in making tents in Balmain, working dry cleaners in Redfern, and I went to night school at Tranby College. Then Tranby said to me, you can go to Metropolitan Business College for full time now, so you don't have to work and go straight to college. So I did and be a clerk. So I did that training. I worked in Club Managers Association to get the basic training. Then I got a job working for the first Aboriginal organisation, Foundation for Aboriginal Affairs, with Charlie Perkins. And it was with the help of the Sydney University. They set up this organisation. It was a really lovely experience. The whole thing, it gave our people chance. We could come to a place and have dances and everything. I was part of the first debutante ball with Joycey Clegg, Joycey Mercy and her sister Christine. There was about 20 of us. I did the 1967 walk from Sydney Harbour Bridge down George Street to Victoria Park. And my niece, what she said, I seen you on the video, and you were singing out, what do we want? Land rights. When do we want it? Now. I even went to the Tent Embassy in Canberra. Back in those days, we were more, Aboriginal people were very political minded. Kids and all, everybody. They had the same drive in that back then. What's happening today is totally different. So I came back up here and I married into Tabulum, and I lived at Tabulum. I took kids to Benalba for net basketball, brought them to casino, basketball. I took about 20 kids up the Rocky River, and I said, you boys, you dive for binging and you girls dig for yams. We'll have a feast up there, okay? That we did. We played rounders back on the mish, and the grown-ups come over and they said, can we play? And I said, sorry, this is the kids' game, not for you fellas. You get your own up. Yep. Then I got a job in education. and I worked in education for 20 years. I met many people. I became AECG rep for the North Coast. I was a PSA union rep. This is an interesting part, is I met a lady, Anne Thomas her name. She was married to a UN elder. Now she sent me this photo up now, and I said, "Oh, Anne, why are you sending me this photo? It's only of the forest." I said, "Is this Mumblers Mountain?" She said, "Yes." "Have a look again." "Oh," I said, "those fairies jumped out from in this black and white picture, fairies." And it took me back to down Box Ridge to Uncle Barney, Auntie Emily and Auntie Annie. They lived over on Spring Hill as you go into Corrockeye. They lived over there before the house was built on the Mish. And when they came over, they told us about the fairies. There's fairies up there. Well, back then I didn't believe, but then after I got that photo and seen them in the black and white picture jump out from behind the trees, it blew me away. When the council went down there and wanted to expand the quarry at Spring Hill there, we went down there and we said, "Now listen, we want you to leave that some part of this quarry, this hill, for the fairies. This is where they live." So the council said, "All right then, we won't go that far." So we stopped them. I left education because kids was not listening to what I was saying. Aboriginal kids. I said, "Now you listen, before you get to year 7, I want you to know we need professional Aboriginal people, qualified, policemen, teachers. Can you think about where you're going and try and plan ahead?" I joined the Bundjalung Elders Council. When Rudd said sorry, a country overseas responded and said, "We have remains from the Bundjalung area. Can you send somebody over to collect them?" So the elders appointed me and John Morrissey. So we went to London and on to the Netherlands, and we brought back the remains. And we took them out to Victoria Park, other side of Lismore. We had a memorial service out there. That was an experience in itself. I said, "Look, I've got to go up the Rhine River in them big canals things, you know." I know, and we did. Went right down to the head of the river in the Rhine River, and we've seen hundreds of those windmills in the sea. I'll never forget it. Yep, I come back. That was an experience. Oh, I said, "I've got to go in the red bus." And I said, "This bus takes you around all the places of the Monopoly game, you know." They did. Past the palace, everything. That was something else.
I'm Dorothy Gordon. I'm a Bundjalung custodian from the Widjabul area in this part of the country. Casino, Lismore, Tabulam, all around here, and Bundjalung of the whole nation from Tweed to Grafton, Tenterfield, as far as Kyogo. I've been bred and born here in the days gone by, and I understand about the sad times we've had together, and but having a strong background of my people and my language and my forefathers and mum and dad and family was my backbone during my upbringing that brought me here to where I am in this area. I'm formerly a Roberts from Lismore, Walker side in Tabulam, and all over this place, and very busy, but I'll just say welcome in my language, and I'll tell a bit about my history. They call me Auntie Dory, and I'm one of the custodians of this Widjabul area of the Bundjalung Nation that goes a long way around this area and district. I'm going to just speak my language. Kingela, Galinga Jargon, Galinga Bigle, Tuwai, Bai, Jarjam, Ngadang, Bavin, Guriaba, Guriaba, Kingela, Galinga. That's mean hello and welcome to the land of the Bundjalung Nation, where we as elders keep our strong cultural traditions, our wisdom, our understanding of and learning from our elders, and where we pass it on to our children and our family around this area. And that's Bundjalung. I said hello, welcome to the land of the Bundjalung people, where we lived many years ago and where our ancestors and kept the land very well, looked after it, nourished us, fed off of our land, our vitamins, our minerals, all that was provided by our Creator God, who gave us this privilege of being a custodian of this area. And during this time I've been very active on the reconciliation and talking about unity and solidarity in amongst the white and black people, especially reconciliation. We are so divided many years ago, and when our land was taken off by BC, I always say before Cook came, we lived in harmony and unity in this land. And our time of being together is a time of caring and sharing. We had wisdom, but our wisdom was kept by our elders, and those that are elders of our women's tribe always did their own things in natural healing, like as having children and sick, women's business, and even our old people who were so much strong in their ways that it was a strict upbringing, and our environment was beautiful land that we've had many years ago.
Next we'll be hearing from Virginia Walker, our CEO, and some of the crew from Momentum, who would like to share their perspective about reconciliation and why it is important for all Australians to take part in reconciliation.
As CEO of Momentum Collective, I'm delighted and proud to launch our Reconciliation Action Plan. While there has been much talk and much attention paid to closing the gap, we know there is considerable amount of work that still needs to be done. Our commitment is about making a positive contribution to this journey. For us, it's about being part of the movement for reconciliation and building strong, trusting relationships. I'm delighted to let you know that we have already started implementing our RAP, because for us, it's not about a plan, but about what we do every day. So I invite and strongly encourage you to find out how you can be involved, how you can contribute, and help us all achieve our aims. Thanks goes to everybody that's been involved in getting us to this point. Special thanks needs to go to Gary Kafoa and Tammy Johnson, who have done an amazing amount of work. Thank you, and I look forward to working with you all on our RAP and closing the gap.
Reconciliation to me, I think of words when I think of reconciliation, acknowledgement, healing, togetherness, and a celebration of First Nations people. Why is it important for all Australians, like myself, who's not from First Nations? I think that it's important because it's an ongoing learning and understanding of the plight of the First Nations people and the beautiful culture that they have.
What reconciliation means for me as a white Australian is that it is part of my responsibility to take part in the reconciliation process. I cannot allow one side to do all of the work while the other does nothing, particularly when members of my side refuse to say sorry or even see that they have that duty, that responsibility.
Reconciliation means to me it's an opportunity for all Australians to recognise the first owners of the land of which we live, and to acknowledge the part that they've played in where we're at now. Why is it important for all? It's important for all Australians to be part of reconciliation because it's an opportunity to work together to resolve some of the issues that have arisen in the past and move forward and so that we can resolve some of those issues.
For me, reconciliation means coming together, having understanding for each other and respecting one another. It's important for all Australians to take part in reconciliation so we can honour where we've come from and so that we can move forward together. The RAP, or the Reconciliation Action Plan, is so important for Momentum as a company so that as a group and individually we're held accountable for treating one another with respect.
Reconciliation means to me looking at what's happened in the past and all of us coming together and recognising how we work together for the future.
Hey, we've got a RAP and it's a good one. I'm glad to be part of Momentum Collective's launch of the RAP, and I stand behind our commitments 100%.
What does the reconciliation plan mean for me? Well, I hope it's a step in the right direction for reform that will meet the aspirations of our Indigenous peoples. It's also an opportunity for me to take responsibility for the reconciliation and advocate for it across my community, and also an opportunity for me to learn and grow the awesome knowledge and traditions and cultures of our Indigenous people.
Reconciliation is an important process for any country with a colonial past because it allows people to come together, talk, share issues, heal, and ultimately strengthens our nation. It's also important for people like myself, more recent arrivals from across the Tasman, because the reconciliation process gives me an opportunity to learn more about our rich culture.
So what does reconciliation mean to me? It's a movement. It's about being respectful and creating opportunities for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. It's about reflecting on our past and being innovative to do better. So let's join and do it together. Make our moments matter.
Reconciliation Week for me means the opportunity to acknowledge Australians' First Nation people as the traditional owners of the land. It's our opportunity to acknowledge our long Aboriginal history, and it's an opportunity to say sorry for the hurt that white Australians have done to our Aboriginal community. It's also a time to forge relationships with our community, Aboriginal communities, so that we have equity and equality for all. Working at Momentum has given me the opportunity to see some of the great work that's being done in our Aboriginal communities and by our Aboriginal staff. One of our values at Momentum is working well together, and I see this every day in the work that's being carried out in these communities.
I'm really proud to be a part of Momentum and of the commitment that we've made to work towards reconciliation. We will implement these initiatives whilst paying our deepest respect to the traditional owners and custodians of these lands that we love so much.
This journey has been one of a learning and reflection, and I'd like to acknowledge the hard work that the RAP Working Group, Momentum's board and everyone else that has assisted with the development of the RAP and its journey so far. Momentum is committed to putting our actions into practice and making our RAP a living, working document. And with your help, I'm sure that we can continue to develop and maintain strong partnerships as we work together towards true reconciliation in our communities, our regions, and in our nation. I would like to finish today with a take-home quote. We cannot change the past, but we can learn from it. We can make amends, and we can ensure mistakes are never repeated. Please join us for a final song, I Feel Connected by Dan and Gary.
Jingawala, welcome again. It's us again. We're going to do another song that we wrote about connection to country, connection to mob. It's pretty what this situation is about today, what we're doing. So yeah, enjoy. I hope you enjoy. Connected.
I feel connected. I feel connected to the oceans, to the beaches, to the sand. I feel connected. I feel connected to the birds that are sitting in the trees. I feel connected. I feel connected to the sun when it shines on me. Lord, I feel connected. I feel connected to the mountains, to the rivers, to the streams. I feel connected. I feel connected to the dolphins that are swimming in the sea. I feel connected. I feel connected to the spirits that are walking with me. I feel connected. I feel connected to the rain when it falls